Segment 3, Gold and Black Live. Coach Greg Goff, Purdue baseball coach, needs no introduction. Another person doesn't need any introduction, Kyle Charters, who has been a long time, worked with us for a number of years at Gold and Black, and obviously is the voice of Purdue baseball as well. Talking baseball, it's spring. The snow is melting in West Lafayette. We're going to have 60s or close to it this weekend. Greg, that's a good thing when it comes to baseball and getting ready. I mean, all you got is a pandemic to deal with. Other than that, you're all good.
There's no doubt. It's great to be here with you guys today. And I'll tell you what, we're excited. The sun's out. We're getting an opportunity to get outside for the first time in about 3 weeks. So our guys are juiced up and ready to go, prepared for the season.
Yeah, you haven't had a lot of opportunities to be outside. You did, though, practice over in Lafayette for a day at the new ballpark over there in the city. How much have you been able to get outside, and will it be a little bit shocking for the guys once you get down to Texas next week and be able to play against Nebraska?
Well, Kyle, we haven't. Last 3 weeks, as you know, probably the most snow since I've been here in my short little time.
Yeah.
But, man, I tell you what, we with the weather breaking now, I think the next 4 or 5 days are going to be huge for us and just our preparation. Seeing fly balls and getting live reads and just the pitchers throwing to our hitters. So we're really, really excited. But it's been about 3 weeks since we had the opportunity to go over to the new stadium there at Loeb and get a chance to get out there for the first 2 days of our practices.
And as a sidelight, how is that? I've driven by it. It looks like a great facility. Is it got a lot?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it is first class. The mayor and the city, they are going to be very proud of that facility. And hopefully at some point maybe we get a chance to play over there. But it is first class, and our guys absolutely loved it.
Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to say nice to have a community here, a baseball supporting community, as we, here in Lafayette, to have two great facilities in Alexander and Loeb. It's pretty nice, no doubt about that. Talk a little bit about this team. You have a veteran group coming back. I think, the lineup is pretty much intact from what we saw for a few weeks at the beginning of last season until the pandemic shut us down. You have to be pretty excited about the leadership that you're going to be able to get from guys like Skylar Hunter and Ben Nissel and Trent Johnson and a bunch of those other guys, right? Do you like this group?
Right. I do, Kyle. I do. You were in this group last year, and we added a few more pieces to the puzzle. And I tell you what, the leadership of this team and our program is outstanding. These guys have done exactly what we ask them to do on a daily basis. They come prepared to practice. We've been having to practice from early mornings to even 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night with the flexibility of our indoor and stuff. So they show up every day. It doesn't matter what time, and really eager to go. I think this group is excited. I think they are confident, and I really believe with the leadership that we have, these guys have a chance to really hopefully make a big run at this thing.
In the world of COVID, every sport, every coach, it's a huge challenge just to have practice. What, from your perspective, is that brought to the table? I mean, you got to obviously had a lot of protocol things to deal with from that standpoint, but for all of us in the entire world, it's been a learning experience. What's been your takeaway outside of the fact that we'd like to not have to repeat this for much longer?
Well, guys, here's the way I am. I think Kyle will tell you. I'm a head-on kind of guy. And so I from our first meeting, I met with our coaching staff, then I met with our support staff, and then I met with our team. I told them from the beginning, hey, guys, we're not going to have any excuses. We're going to, take this thing head on. We're going to have to deal with some adversity as the different protocols and things like that. But I took it away from them from the get-go. I wanted these guys to understand that, everybody is going to be dealing with some type of adjustments. It's the team that can handle those adjustments, Alan, that the team that can overcome those and get through all that is going to be the champion. And, I know we're going to have to deal with some bumps in the roads and things like that, but that's life, right? I mean, it's life and what we do. And so I challenge our guys every day. But from the get-go, I told them, hey, there is zero excuses of why we should not win this league this year and compete for a championship. And our guys know that. They know how I feel about it. And I think once you take that perspective, hopefully we can eliminate the excuses and go out and play.
Yeah. Seems like a couple of things are going to be key to this season, right, Greg? And if you have a little bit of depth, that might help you, right? Because, you know, you might have a couple of guys who who have to miss a couple of games for whatever reason, just due to the pandemic. And just like you said, the ability to adjust on the fly, if you can't face an opponent a certain weekend and the schedule changes, it seems like you have a group that A, does have a little bit of depth, and B, should have that kind of leadership that can adjust on the fly.
No doubt, Kyle. I do. These guys, we do have more depth this year. We were fortunate enough to bring in some more players along with the guys that returned. And so I think college baseball is going to be, at a really good aspect right now with all the different guys that are back and the guys that didn't get drafted that should have and are back. So, we have a great team. We have a lot of leadership. All the starting 9 pretty much are back from last year. And so we added some depth to it. So it's going to be exciting. I really, we've been going at this, a little longer than everybody else because, the season opened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we've been watching games and kind of preparing our teams. And I've been talking with some of my friends in coaching that have already opened up and just asked them, what are some things that you guys were maybe not ready for? And so we've been preparing them and we're going to be ready to go once the guy says play ball come Friday.
Yeah, your schedule is Big Ten schedule, but not in Big Ten venues, at least initially. Obviously, heading to Texas next weekend, and then South Carolina. You got Nebraska in Texas, and then you was at Michigan, I believe, in Greenville, South Carolina. But again, everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's going to be doing that. But what impact outside of travel does that mean? And the fact that your schedule is obviously Big Ten centered.
Well, I told them, we got 44 games and every one of them count. First time in my career, that you don't have any midweek games and, 3 or 4 weeks to prepare before conference. And so, I think our guys understand that. Al, I think they understand that, when everyone matters. And so we got to make sure we're prepared and ready to go. So it's going to be great going to Texas the first weekend. That was, kind of what happened there was we were scheduled to play in the big Round Rock tournament with Baylor and Auburn and really a great lineup of teams. And once, the Big Ten decided to go Big Ten only, I asked the people that were over the facility, hey, would you be interested in bringing some Big Ten teams down? So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to Greenville next weekend. So me, I'm ready to get down and get some sweet tea and
there you go. Yeah. Home sweet home almost.
Yes, sir.
So you did mention, that you have a couple guys back this year that probably expected to be playing in the minor leagues at this point.
Right.
And, Zach Fascia maybe being the number one guy and Skylar Hunter maybe being another and probably a couple others. What has that been like for those guys to be back for another season?
Well, it just makes my job so much easier, Kyle. I mean, those guys, know what the expectation is in our program. They know how the Boilermaker way is in our program. And so, to be honest with you, they've been such great leaders and really coaches on the field. When it comes to our bunt coverages, our first and thirds, our alignments, or even our approaches that we do at the plate and stuff like that. These guys have been absolutely amazing. I told them the other day, I'm already getting cheerful about knowing they're going to be gone just because I've got so attached to them. We've been through so much, and they're just such great men.
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things in normal times, I don't know how you do it, and Kyle's explained it over the years in terms of how in the heck you recruit baseball. 10 and a half, the scholarships. It is the ultimate. My SAT scores and analytical were not as good as they should have been. I hope yours were.
Yeah.
In terms of how do you put all these pieces together, and then you throw in COVID and the inability to get guys on campus or see them the way you want to. How has that impacted all of that from a recruiting standpoint as you move ahead?
Well, we have had to do recruiting on video, which is kind of scary, guys, to be honest with you, because you really don't know what you're getting to a certain degree. So you can see the tools and things like that, but the character, the things that we try to invest a lot in, the intangibles is what we call them. It's hard to see that on video, but we've been very fortunate. We've had some guys, we've had one thing about baseball is that we do work out a number of years. So, the recruiting class that we got coming on campus next year, and even the following year, the 2022s, we were pretty much done with those before the COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so now we've really focused in on it, those JUCO guys that maybe those pieces that we might need to fill. But it's been crazy. I tell you what, My wife didn't know who I was until this past year, as much as I've been home, I tell you.
Yeah. That's a good thing and a bad thing, right?
That's a good and bad thing. That's right.
Yeah,
You had a good recruiting year this year as well, especially it seemed like in bringing in some more mature veteran arms, and some of those JC guys are going to be able to come in and compete, if not be able to right off the bat, fill in on the weekend rotation. Tell us a little bit about those guys and your expectations for them.
Well, we were guys. We were very fortunate to land some really good junior college guys, even some guys that were maybe some D1 transfers. And so Calvin Shapira is a left-handed pitcher that went to USC and then went back to a junior college. We got him. You'll see him the first or second day starting for us. We have Nolan Daniels, a guy that really did well last year in junior college. You'll see him at some point. Avery Cook's another guy that was a transfer in from St. John's. And, he's here now. So we really have a lot of older guys that have really fit in well to what we're doing. Steven Ramirez is a catcher that we brought in to kind of fill some void there, losing Bryce Bonner. And so, we've been very fortunate. Cam Thompson is another guy that we end up transferring in from Oklahoma State. You'll see him somewhere in the lineup probably the first day or so. And so we were very fortunate to land on some really good players, but even better character guys. As you know, Kyle, that's really important for me.
We got time for a question, but one more question from each of us. But you look at and I know you're going to. All coaches don't want to single anybody out in the league. But who are some of the teams that they're all going to be competitive? But some of the teams that we all should be watching out for that will present some of the biggest challenges, not only for you guys getting into the championship level, but teams that fans should be paying attention to more than some maybe.
Sure. Well, our guys down the road are really good. They have a really good team coming back, and it's hard for me to say that, as you guys know.
That's like talking Auburn, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
So, but they'll be, one of the top teams in the league. Michigan will be a team that has had a lot of success in the last couple of years. Ohio State. I think Nebraska is going to be really good. Will Boat was a longtime assistant at A&M. He took over last year. He's, kind of revamped that deal over there at Nebraska. I think the first 3 weekends, I'll be honest with you, I would not be shocked if those 3 teams are not in the top 5 of our league.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kyle.
It's become a league that's much more deep, much deeper over the last several years. That's certainly for sure. Let's talk a little bit about that first pitch preview that you've got coming up next week on Wednesday, an opportunity for fans to get to know your team a little bit. It's unfortunate that the event's just been outstanding the last couple of years, and being able to come and greet players and have dinner and do all that. Obviously, with the pandemic, going to be a little bit different as things are this year. But I think nice that you've been able to still put that together. It's a chance, right, to meet the team a little bit and get to know those guys and sort of get to know your message as well.
That's right, Kyle. We started this a few years ago when I came up here with Coach Wise, and it's just been such a huge community event, and so we've been fortunate to sell it out every year that we've done it, and so we're excited about this as well. We were fortunate enough that our administration let us do it online, and it gives us a chance to, we do a community service award, we do a alumnus of the year award, we get a chance to introduce all of our players and where they're from and what position, all of our support staff. It's just really a big night for our program, and it kind of gets everybody excited and lets them know, hey, Boilermaker baseball is here and ready to get cranked up.
I will look for that on Wednesday as well. And your team will come home the last week in March against Rutgers. Is your first trip first opportunity to play in West Lafayette as well. But we wish you well and safe travels as you deal with all this. And we look forward to hearing Kyle's voice
Yes.
calling some of these games. Always a good thing. You know what? When you've had the kind of February we've had weather-wise, we're all excited to have the notion of baseball is a good thing, and maybe also the harbinger of some better days with respect to the pandemic as well. So, Coach, thanks so much for your time. Kyle, thanks for pitching in. I couldn't have made it without you, and we'll look forward to that. I want to thank our sponsors here, Triple X on the hill, but on the level of Purdue tradition, I should say, since 1929. Hilton Garden Inn, when tomorrow's a big day, State HDI tonight. State Farm agent Trent Johnson at trentismyagent.com. Also, thanks to the folks at WLFI, Gordon Jackson, Scott Sumner for helping putting this together. Coach Greg, we'll have you on. We'll talk about your championship season before long.
Yes, sir.
No
That's
pressure.
it. That's it. Hey, guys, thank y'all so much for letting me come on today. We're so excited and so grateful to be here, and look forward to hopefully getting back with you sometime soon.
Sounds great, guys. Thanks to all of you watchers and listeners for joining us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time on Gold and Black Live.